I found this on Facebook, and On2, he's the person that posted this, AN space TU. The proposal is that if you can find a 3-move mate for white, then you're a rated player about 1800 plus. Well, I don't know if that's accurate or not, but I thought the puzzle itself looked complex enough where I'm going to try this out. So I put the board into chess.com, and the app is telling me that indeed white has a mate in 3 moves. So taking a look here, it took me a little while to find it. But if the queen is sacrificed by moving it onto a7, king takes it, we're going to move the pawn back, we're going to promote to a knight and cause a really nice discovered and double check here. The king has to move to the back row on e8. The knight comes down to d6, causing a checkmate. The queen can't take that white knight because the queen is pinned by the white bishop. So pretty sweet. Back this up, and when I was thinking about how I wanted to do this, one of the thoughts I had initially was, well, instead of that, what if, and this is a big if, what if I took that pawn, capture the knight, promote up to a queen? I'm golden. I've got 2 strong pieces covering the back row, and it's just a matter of time before that black king is gone. So I was thinking, if I promoted that queen, that pawn to a queen, black has to retreat to g8, and then it's all over except for the crying, because I'm going to take my original white queen, take the rook on f8. Oh, I got 2 queens on the back side, and it's done. It's history. But I forgot that the black rook is able to take the white rook, and instantly white's position drops, and look at that. The rating is down to minus 15.5 for white, just because I promoted it to a queen. All right, so what if we don't promote it to a queen, but what if instead of sacrificing our white queen, what if we take that white pawn, we'll steal the knight, and let's promote it to something different. Instead of a queen, which kind of seems typical, everybody loves having 2 queens on the board, let's promote the darn thing to a knight. Because now I got a double check going on with the rook and the knight. That's pretty sweet. Black king has 2 places it can move. The analysis is saying go to g8. So let's take a look at the easy one right now, and we'll go to e8. White queen moves down, and indeed we got a checkmate. Actually, I think that's what, checkmate in 2 moves? So pretty sweet. But I don't think most good players are going to make the mistake of moving the king to that position. They're going to drop it back here. And white's disadvantage right now is not too extreme. They're down, according to chess.com, it's down 1.7. So we're going to start trading off a bunch of pieces. We put white into check, and now white is on the run. So as soon as white is on the run, even though white might be losing a bunch of pieces, black is going to take some time here, but eventually the position keeps increasing. Now, black's advantage here is still not very strong. As I let it think a little bit here, black is only up by 2 points. And there's going to be a lot of shuffling around going on here, but in the end, black is going to come out on top because it's got more pawns and a better pawn structure, and it's going to march down and eventually promote one of these pawns to a queen, and then it's all over except for the crying. All right, let's start back over. The only other thing I thought of one of the things I think I saw in the comments section on Facebook for this one was, what if you took the queen and instead of sacrificing it here, take the rook on the back side? Take the rook, and the disadvantage starts off as being pretty close, but all of a sudden now the queen takes the rook, and you're down 4.7. And you think, you're going to do some really smart stuff. I'm still going to get my queen out of it. Even though I had to sacrifice mine, I get to do this, I get to do this. But notice the advantage for white, it keeps slowly going down. We're still stuck at about some in the neighborhood of -5. It feels like we're doing a really good job by taking all these pieces, but the truth is we're not. This is just slowly but surely, it's just a continuing losing position, and not much we can do about it. So there is a slight possibility that white could come back from that, but if you let the analysis take its time, black actually has a much better play. It takes 30-some moves, I think it was, and black ended up coming out on top. Yeah, so this for me was definitely a nice, fun little challenge. I had to actually think about it quite a bit before and consider all the different places that the pieces could move. I really wanted to move that pawn and get that thing promoted and have that be my saving grace. But having my white rook pinned on a7 kind of blew most of the ideas that I had. And finally I was looking and that queen sacrifice came out, and that's just like, that's kind of a brilliant move, I think. Hope this was helpful.